Genoa City is on fire right now, literally and emotionally, and right in the middle of the chaos, one woman with a wrecking ball reputation for love is trying something nobody saw coming. Phyllis Summers, the queen of scorched earth romance, is reaching out to help a man everyone else has written off. His name is Matt Clark, and if you've been following the young and the restless lately, you know his past is not exactly spotless. So why is Phyllis suddenly playing guardian angel to Genoa City's most distrusted new arrival? That question is sending fans into a frenzy, and today we're breaking down everything you need to know about the July 6th storyline that has the young and the restless fandom buzzing. If you're just tuning in, or if it's been a while since you've checked in on Genoa City, let's take a quick step back. The Young and the Restless has been the reigning champion of daytime television since it premiered back in 1973, and for decades now it has consistently topped the ratings as the #1 soap opera in America. Set in the fictional town of Genoa City, Wisconsin, the show built its legacy on the larger-than-life rivalry between two families, the wealthy, ruthless Newmans, led by patriarch Victor Newman, and the elegant, equally cutthroat Abbotts, anchored by Jack Abbott. Generations of fans have watched empires rise and fall, marriages implode, secrets resurface from the grave, and enemies become lovers only to become enemies again. It's a show that has survived cast changes, network shifts, and decades of television evolution while never losing its core identity: messy, glamorous, emotionally explosive storytelling that keeps you coming back day after day. And right now, the show is in the middle of one of its most intense stretches in recent memory. Multiple storylines are colliding at once. There's danger swirling around the Abbott family, chaos threatening the Newman ranch, and simmering romantic tension involving some newer faces trying to find their footing in a town that doesn't forgive easily. That's exactly where Matt Clark comes in. Matt Clark, played by Roger Howarth, has been positioned as a man with a complicated, troubled past, the kind of backstory that makes the Newman family deeply suspicious of him. He's been under pressure from Victor Newman, tangled up in an uneasy alliance with Kane Ashby, and treated by most of Genoa City as someone who needs to prove, not just claim, that he's changed. Enter Phyllis Summers. If there's one character in Young and the Restless history who understands what it means to carry a messy reputation and still fight for redemption, it's Phyllis. Played by Michelle Stafford, Phyllis has spent years being written off, underestimated, and labeled as trouble, only to claw her way back into people's good graces time and time again. So, in a strange, almost poetic way, she might be exactly the right person to help Matt Clark rewrite his story. Now here's what's officially confirmed for the July 6th episode, and it's a big one for shippers and drama lovers alike. Spoilers for Monday, July 6th, reveal that Phyllis will help Matt take real steps toward what's being described as a fresh start, particularly when it comes to his love life. Phyllis gives Matt Clark the fresh start he's been after, even as he continues dealing with the Newmans and his ongoing redemption test. That detail alone tells us a lot. Matt isn't just trying to charm his way into Genoa City society. He's actively being tested, watched, and measured by the people around him, and Phyllis stepping in to help him could shift the entire dynamic. The scenes leading up to this moment have been building for days. At Crimson Lights, Matt and Phyllis have been working through some real tension. Matt gets reassurance from Phyllis that she won't interfere with his plans involving Kane Ashby, and while he can tell she genuinely cares about him, he points out that she still hasn't agreed to go on a date with him. That's classic slow-burn soap opera writing. Two people circling each other, both guarded, both testing whether trust is even possible. And then, in a twist that had fans cheering online, after Matt tells Phyllis he wants to know the real person behind the mask she wears, she finally surprises him by agreeing to go on that date after all. But don't think this is smooth sailing. Their history is anything but simple. During one exchange, Matt bluntly tells Phyllis that he finds her attractive enough that it clouds his judgment, and that's ultimately what pushes her to agree to the date. It's messy, it's a little chaotic, and it's very, very Phyllis. Elsewhere in that same episode, Matt and Phyllis head to Crimson Lights together, and when they later arrive at the Shadow Room, Noah Newman immediately questions why they're there and warns Phyllis that he doesn't trust Matt at all. That distrust isn't going away anytime soon, and it sets up a fascinating conflict. Because if Phyllis is going to stand by Matt, she may find herself at odds with people she's normally aligned with. And that brings us to where this story appears to be heading over the following days. Spoilers for the week of July 6th. Through 10th suggest Matt Clark is expected to impress Phyllis during a dinner date, one that could lead to further romance and even a serious escalation in their physical relationship. Fans online have been quick to point out that this pairing has real potential for drama, specifically because of who's watching from the sidelines. Phyllis and Matt appear to be moving toward a full-blown romance, but Nick Newman is not going to be happy about it at all, and reports suggest he'll eventually catch the two of them together in a compromising, scandalous moment. Let's talk about that a little more, because it's honestly one of the most talked about angles in the fan community right now. Nick Newman is expected to stumble upon Phyllis and Matt in an intimate moment, possibly catching them mid-kiss or entering a hotel suite together, and it's described as the kind of discovery that will leave him seeing red. If you know anything about Nick and Phyllis's tangled romantic history, you know this is not going to stay quiet. Nick is expected to be furious enough that he may confront Matt directly, and some speculation even suggests he could physically retaliate, especially given that Summer Newman, Phyllis and Nick's daughter, almost certainly wouldn't approve of this new relationship either. Now, it's important to flag that part clearly as speculation. The dinner date, Phyllis and Matt's growing connection, and Nick's disapproval are confirmed directions for the story. But whether an actual physical altercation happens is still speculation from soap outlets reading between the lines of the previews, not confirmed footage or an official synopsis. We'll keep an eye on that and update you as more concrete details drop. Meanwhile, this storyline isn't unfolding in isolation. The same episode block is dropping several other bombs on Genoa City. Over at the Abbott mansion, things are taking a terrifying turn. Diane Jenkins Abbott and Kyle Abbott return home only to make a horrifying discovery: Jack Abbott, bleeding and in danger, the apparent victim of an attack tied to Patty Williams. Diane and Kyle call for Jack upon arriving home, and when they don't find him waiting for them, they eventually discover him badly wounded on the dining room floor, forcing them to call for an ambulance as Jack fights to survive. It's a shocking, blood-soaked sequence that's dominating just as much conversation online as the Phyllis and Matt storyline, and honestly, it says a lot about where this show is right now. Practically every corner of Genoa City is dealing with some kind of crisis simultaneously. And there's more still. Fans are also watching closely as Victor Newman makes a major decision regarding Nikki Newman's medical care after her recent health scare, while Audra Charles continues stirring up trouble between Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall, clearly still holding a torch for Noah and unwilling to let their history go quietly. It's a jam-packed week, and the Phyllis and Matt storyline is unfolding right alongside all of it, which only adds to the sense that Genoa City is a powder keg ready to blow in every direction at once. So what could all of this mean for the future of the show? If Phyllis genuinely commits to helping Matt turn his life around, it opens up a fascinating new dynamic. Phyllis has always thrived when she's fighting for something, whether it's her family, her career, or her own redemption, so throwing herself into Matt's second chance gives her arc real emotional stakes. It also puts her on a potential collision course with two very powerful men in her orbit: Victor Newman, who's clearly using Matt for his own agenda, and Nick Newman, who is not going to sit quietly if this romance becomes public. That kind of triangle, or possibly even a quadrangle once Victor's motivations are factored in, has all the makings of a long-term storyline that could dominate Young and the Restless coverage for weeks or even months to come. There's also the question of what this means for Matt Clark's redemption arc as a character. Soap operas love a good bad boy turn good storyline, but the show has been careful to frame Matt's transformation as something still very much in progress, not a finished product. If Phyllis becomes his anchor, that could either be the turning point that finally proves his growth is real, or it could set up a devastating betrayal down the line if Matt reverts to old patterns. Right now, that's genuinely unclear, And it's part of what makes this storyline so compelling to watch unfold in real time. Fans on social media have been split, and honestly, that's part of the fun. Some viewers are fully on board with the Phyllis and Matt pairing, pointing out that Phyllis has always been drawn to complicated men who need saving, and that this feels true to her character. Others are more skeptical, worried that the show is setting Phyllis up for yet another heartbreak, or that this romance is simply a plot device to create conflict with Nick down the road. Either way, the discussion boards and comment sections have been lighting up every time a new spoiler drops, which is exactly the kind of engagement that keeps a 50-plus-year-old soap opera feeling fresh and relevant. At the end of the day, here's what we know for certain. Phyllis Summers is stepping up to help Matt Clark chase a fresh start, their bond is deepening in real time, and a date between them is officially in motion. We also know that danger is far from over for the Abbott family, that Nick Newman's reaction to this budding romance is going to be explosive, and that several other major storylines are converging in Genoa City all at once. What remains speculation, but juicy speculation worth watching closely, is exactly how far the Phyllis and Matt relationship will go, and how dramatically Nick will respond once he finds out. This is exactly why Y&R and the Restless has remained a daytime powerhouse for over 5 decades. It understands how to layer romance, danger, and family loyalty into a single sprawling narrative that never lets you look away for too long. Whether you're rooting for Phyllis and Matt to find something real, or bracing yourself for the fallout once Nick gets involved, one thing is certain: Genoa City is not slowing down anytime soon. Let us know in the comments what you think is really going on with Phyllis and Matt. Do you believe she can actually help him change, or is this heading straight for disaster? Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe for more Y&R and the Restless spoilers, cast updates, and all the daytime drama news you need, right here.